This is Marxist, and this is another demo review of Rchl, aka Olivia Wilde. I'm doing these because I'm mentoring her week to week, but I can't make the meeting times because I have the flu, and I'm using a little bit of a combination of alcohol and cold medicine to be able to complete these because they've been asking for help recently because the season isn't going the way they expected. So I wanted to help them out. So we'll get started. This one is on gullywash, and we'll mostly watch it from her perspective, but I'll comment as we go. They are playing Unannounced Pleasure, which has Owl on it. I do a demo review of Owl from a long time ago, as well as the famed Mr. Slyn on Scout. So this is gullywash, so this is a few weeks ago now. 2, I guess. 1, whatever, however you want to count it. So going lower, that's fine. You're going to the right side. Lots of people on the right side. You have a nice little pocket here too. So this is a good mid. You give the first death, but they lose their medics, so you just need to group up and slowly fight these people, and you'll be okay. They're trying to kill you. Oh, they get you. Sad days. So now Al's gonna have Uber advantage because, and it'll be a little substantial, but you should be able to get second off of that. For the YouTube viewers, we'll talk about what just happened. So, on Gullywash, if both teams go to the right side, the general rule to their own right. So if they take your side, you take their side. The general rule of thumb is whoever loses the first player loses the mid. So you have a little spam fight back and forth between each other. The easiest way to get out of that is to either have your little spam fight and hope you don't die in it or lose the first player, or just have your pocket or anybody who the team will trust say go on 3, and then at the count of 3 everybody just attacks the other side. Generally you'll be able to turn that out at least half of the time, but it's better than just waiting on them to make a move. So it was a little disorganized there because you didn't all go at once, but you did happen to kill their medics, so that, and being as you were bunched up on their side, basically no way for them to win mid. Ideally, you guys should make a pretty good go at second. Oh, good, and your people come back to choke to get buffed, so that's fine. You've managed to convert, so you've got Uber advantage going for you right now. You shouldn't know that, so I don't expect any sort of push. But we are going to see probably a suicide. On Gullywash, I'm a fan of the 2-man sack, just because it's usually pretty tough for one guy to get it, because usually teams are going to have a heavy, and they're going to position that heavy rather close to the medic, so it's basically impossible to jump him effectively as a soldier. So you guys go for the 1-man sack with the scout? Oh, and your demo manages to kill their roamer, I suppose. Maybe their pocket, so not bad, not a bad trade. You could have pushed in off of that, but I understand why you wouldn't. The main reason you would have pushed there is because the rest of the classes on that team aren't particularly good Uber classes, so their Uber would have just been keeping people alive. So that could have its upsides. But you're going to play the sniper waiting game, so we'll just wait for something to happen here, so that you can either get picked or get the pick. Yeah. Not having a player in front of you in Riverside like this is really dangerous. Oh, you get the med. Perfect. But mistake number one. That's fine. You jumped in the soldier, you killed the medic. Cool play. But no one's there to use your Uber. So any players who got hurt from as collateral damage from your roamer bombing in, and the damage isn't truly substantial. I mean, you do have a pocket that's 50 health down, but they're going to go back into spawn and change classes now. And the surprise value of the opening that you had down there was really good. You needed the people that would be pushing to be near to you so that you could go right when you push, or right when you got the kill. Because you're in a dangerous spot now where they're kind of desperate, and you never really know what they're going to do when they get desperate. So there you go. You Uber in one player, you Uber in two players, three players. This is pretty good. I like this. Alright, so yeah, that was fine. That was a solid push at Gullywash last. It could have been done faster, but on the whole, not bad. Mid was done more or less correctly as well, so that's good. A good, solid start. So you're going up the right again. Your pocket isn't quite as good this time, and by pocket I mean your little area in which you stand. Alright, so you should win this mid pretty easily as well. One scout kept the point, everybody else go. So now we'll see how wily you are, because their medic hasn't been charging at all, and we'll see if you know that or not. Well, it looks like you're gonna take too long, and it's not gonna matter. Okay, so just to reset, they're gonna counter snipe, you're gonna regular snipe. I imagine probably with the same play with Hugh going in. So we'll wait to see that happen. Oh, that's a bad day. So you have to play a little... Oh, you've got a heavy. Okay. So that's great. You lose two. Can't be doing this. They pop their Uber, so you win by default. We've talked about this in the past in other videos. I'm sorry, my voice is pretty crap from this flu, but when you're pushing out of last, you can do one of two things, and they have different situations. This is again mostly for the YouTube viewers. If you're pushing out of last, you have to pop their Uber and then get back. You have to pop their Uber and then get back. I got alt-tabbed by a Steam announcement. Then you have to re-push with your Uber. In this situation, they have popped trying to get out to second. So you should get back in. You still have Uber. There's no reason to give them this point. And if they're attempting to cap it, you will kill them all.
Alert. The control point is being captured.
You have Uber. You should not be giving them this point. So now they're pushing in to force you, but you got 3 kills, so this is fine. This is what should have happened when they were trying to cap the point. They popped their Uber without popping yours. They cannot win. You shouldn't allow that to happen. You need to get this soldier in because you could push last right now if you're really quick about it. You're going to be too slow, so you're just going to have to use the Uber advantage. Which, that's okay, Uber advantage is fine. And you lose a player, so that's not good. You're in danger of losing others. Now, you're going to have to go when you get this, or you're not going to have advantage. Alright, you're going, so that's good. Bring in the demo too. The bait play doesn't work as well this time. Yeah, and you get screwed. Alright, so general rules of thumb here from Marxist. Baiting the point or your screenplay that you guys want to run is fine for gullywash, but it's more effective if it's Uber v Uber. If it's Uber versus no Uber, you're better served to Uber in your 3 players and just kill them all. Especially on a smaller sized last, like gullywash, you're just better served to go for frags with your Uber since they don't have one. Now you're going to bleed more players, yeah, so there goes your demo. So now you're going to lose second, and well, you do get the med, but that still really shouldn't matter.
Alert. The control point is being contested. Time has been added.
Leave, get health pack. Yeah, you can, yes, okay, there we go. So they're 3 down, you should be getting a scout on the point, and you should go to last. You guys should be going to last. You do have a sniper, so maybe that's not the greatest advice. But you should mostly be going to last. They're going to get their spawns because you're too slow. So just wait for your Uber, and then in this situation, you're going to want to just go for kills. Again. Okay, they don't have a demo either, so this is just ducky. Yeah, so you lose your roamer a little early here, but it should be okay. Yeah, so that time you did it correctly, more or less. If it's Uber versus no Uber, you should just get frags. You're invincible. It should be easy. Instead of trying for elaborate bait plays, whereas generally a lot of the times if they pop Uber, they're not going to know what to do, and you can juggle off Ubered players really effectively. So you're going to try to go up the right here again. The pocket is contested, but you get the first kill, so that's great. Oh, and then you die. So now it's an evenish fight. Hopefully their medic dies soon. Their medic has to die. Their medic has to die. 15 health, still not dead. Please, someone do something. Nope. So you guys should lose this round. You had plenty of players alive with which to attempt a medic-based suicide, and you didn't do it all at once. You did get him down to 15, but that's 14 more than he needed. You can't really contest this point, so you're going to have to hold last, the first last hold of the game. I presume that was Collide trying to get a force, but it doesn't work. That's not very helpful or good. Rotating sides is ideal here, but you're blocked. There's not enough people. Yeah, your pocket has to rotate with you there, because the demo can't keep someone from blocking him out. He's not able to push past. So your pocket has to rotate there as well in order to get down onto the point. Or allow your demo to shoot at the stuff on the point. So you're going to go left. You do this about as well as you can. You start out with an early frag lead. Just push across. Alright, 1 scout caps, everybody else goes. Perfect. So you're doing this really well. They're in danger here. Your demo's going in YOLO styles. They still don't have a demo, so pushing in here might be okay. The demo's up now. You get the Uber force, you're retreating, and there's no one to meet. So when you finish your Uber, you should be meeting players that are coming in. Their Uber was only 4% difference from yours. Alright, so that was a good enough Uber that if you were gonna push last at all, you needed people to be coming in at the end of your Uber. Instead, they were all standing clear back in the lobby, not doing anything. So you needed somebody to come out of main and take the last bit of Uber to get in and push them back so that the rest of your players could actually come in. Instead, you're endangering your pocket. I don't know how or if he's going to get out. He's not, and you're still not pushing. So this is just a bad play, and now you're hurt, so that's the end of you pushing. So yeah, you pushed in your pocket and then never rotated or tried to do anything with it. So that's just a failure on either you and your pocket's part, not letting them know to go in, or a team failure issue where nobody knew what to do. But your Uber was good enough. You should have had people coming in. You should have had people spilling into the last at the end of your Uber and not standing in the shutter door, not doing anything. And you do have a heavy here, so we'll see what you choose to do with it. One heavy is good enough. So we'll see if you do it right, and then I'll comment about it after. So you get the pop pretty early, you're backing out really early, and you're not doing anything again. So your Uber was fine. There was 5-ish% difference there. You should have pushed in with your heavy with the end of the Uber. From a different door, obviously. And your pocket should have jumped somewhere so that the periphery players are distracted by him, thus letting you get in the doors more easily. So ideally there, in that Uber, the heavy would have come out on the little jump pad, out of lower main, out of river, anywhere, and you should have gone and met him. And GBB, your pocket, should have jumped anywhere on anybody to get your heavy, the 450 entry, and then everybody else spills in. So here's another Uber. You still have a heavy. That's plenty to push in on with. So you're trying to go in with a scout here, scout demo Uber, and you lose your scout, so this is legit over. Your heavy tries to get in a little too early and gets banged up, and now you're dead. So you're going to lose second, ideally. Yep, that is a second loss. If their medic doesn't die, it's a mid-loss. So this is going to be a mid-loss coming up. Ideally, they'd already be coming to mid. But apparently they're a little too... They respect you guys a bit, so they're going to hold it out and wait for the Uber advantage. So hopefully you can pop them here and get out. You should know that the Ubers are really close right now, so you should stop building and buff your roamer so that in the event that you don't get them to pop with spam, that he has enough health to do what he needs to do, which is suicide. So I guess you're bombing now, maybe? No? No bomb. So you give them mid, that's bad. You don't, this is worst case scenario, really. You cannot give up a point without popping their Uber. All 6 of you were there. So you gave them a gift from heaven. So we're just going to stalemate. They also brought a heavy. So I imagine once the heavy gets there, they'll try and push somehow. But you guys definitely can't push, especially with the heavy on that team. Which really no big deal, you're winning the match, so... Okay, here comes the push. They're just trying to pop you, you drop your demo. In that situation, when players come through like that, your demo doesn't need to fight them, he needs to get the hell out of there. And also you need to have a scout sitting with your combo to prevent bombers from getting in like that. That's partly a symptom of you guys not holding choke tightly enough, and partly a symptom of your demo not holding correctly. Because he needed, as soon as they got on him, he needed to just bail out. Because you cannot afford to pop your Uber there. So, two mistakes. You didn't hold choke tightly enough, and you didn't pop their Uber when they were on mid. Or trying to take mid. Also, I should point out, on last holds, where your heavy is about the worst possible place for anyone to be. If your combo's going to be on the left side, no one really can afford to be on that right side because they're going to die to an Uber right away. Because any smart team will check that corner when they Uber in, if they're coming from Riverside or having anyone come from Riverside, and they'll get an immediate frag on that person over there on the right, which would be Collide, Jesse Spencer in this case. You don't want anyone to be over there. The heavy needs to be over with you. The scout needs to be going and doing other things. And, yeah. So that's the hold. You can't have someone sitting over there on the right by themselves. On the flip side, you've got a lot of people on the left, and you don't really want that either. So I don't mind your passive play here, since all they're going to do is try to drop or pop you. But you guys do have Uber, so you could afford to play these doors a lot more aggressively. Oh, there's the Highlander experience coming up. Alright, so we're going to pause and go over this because it's important. You cannot pop your Uber here. You have to pop their Uber. That's all that you can do right now. Pop their Uber. Nothing else. You don't pop, you don't die. You just pop their Uber. You don't cap the point either. You get their demo, so that's great. You're trying to cap the point, and this is a mistake. It's too much. Yeah, and now you're screwed, and you lose last. So you broke the rules. You guys broke the rules. You have to pop their Uber. You can't cap the point. Pop their Uber, recollect yourselves, then take the point. They give you a nice gift by dropping 2 players to a sticky trap, and then your heavy wins the heavy v heavy. So you don't lose like you should have. So you got lucky. And now you can cap the point. Unfortunately, it appears that they all got their forward spawns, so their whole complement is on mid, and they do have sizable Uber advantage relative to you. You should be aware of this, and therefore you cannot afford to be this close. They did lose their demo, so that's good. If you're really up on your Uber countery, you can afford to sack 2 players to get this Uber out. You need to get back. You're committed too deeply. So you got the Uber. That's great. You've lost to no one either, so that's really, really good.
The control point is being captured.
Wow. So that's really, 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 really good. You guys pushed in, you got their Uber out, and got out without anybody dying, and also killed 2 of their players. So that's exceptional. You could not have planned it any better. You have Uber advantage. You should just take it into these people. They're all standing in lobby. You should take your Uber in and get them away from this point. Take it into them. Take it into them. Now, see, you let yourself be forced. GBB could have just gone in there and killed all of them. Now you leave your scout to die. Yeah, that was not the right choice. That Uber should have been... There we go. That Uber should have been used way sooner. As soon as they opened that shutter door and you saw their whole team there, your eyes should have just lit up. Because you should have immediately popped Uber on them with like 2 or 3 people and killed their whole team. Instead, you dropped several players and then got forced more or less in a terrible position. And then your scout went in and your pocket did not. So that cannot happen. If your scout commits, your pocket has to commit too. That doesn't mean you as medic have to commit, but if you're gonna lose now anyways, so you may as well hope that the pocket and the scout go giant banana huge and kill their whole team, which is what they should have done back when they didn't have Uber. So you guys do something really, really well on mid, and then just totally throw it away. You do luck out, and it looks like you're going to have all of your forwards. You need to be going up top right now, though. They have Uber, and they're going to come in. Try and pop their Uber, go up top. Pop their... Okay, now get up top.
Our control point is being captured.
I doubt that you'll be able to contest this, yeah. The only way you would have been able to contest is probably if you'd have had Uber or not be... 1 down relative, and you just can't push out of that shutter door. That'll literally never work. Generally speaking, if you know there's a team out there, there's no reason to even open that shutter door. Alright, so you have Uber and they don't. You need to get, if you're going to Uber out here, you need to kill their medic or 2 to 3 players, and then cap the point. That's what you have to do, or you're costing yourself your last. Oh, you split up. So this is awful. Your scout went lower with his Uber, where the majority of them were, but your pocket went upper. It's terrible. You need to work together. You have to get 2 or 3 picks or you lose the round. You've lost the round now. Thankfully you didn't give any picks there, so you still have a little sliver of hope because this last is really hard to push.
The control point is being captured.
And it seems to be going pretty well. But they have brought a heavy. You do get him. Okay, so they flub the last push. Gullywash claims another victim.
The control point is being
And you cap. Their medic will not get forward. So that's really good. Oh, why pop? Why? No reason to pop there whatsoever. Your positioning there wasn't the greatest, but there was absolutely no reason in the world to pop. If you don't pop there, you easily roll second, even if you drop a player. Easily roll second. You have Supremo Uber advantage. Instead now you've settled for a stalemate at mid for a bad Uber. What ought to have happened there was you don't pop. Hopefully that scout doesn't die. Even if he does, doesn't matter, because you're gonna get a pick anyhow. And then you just push second and easily take it. If you're gonna try and stack this side down here, you need more people. There you go. That's how this needs to look. Okay, maybe not so much with your demo man getting baited this hard. You need your whole team here, and you need to be getting in. You could also have your pocket dip into lobby. That would work, but nobody else can really do that. So you're going to rotate to choke now? Maybe? You seem very confused. And yeah, so this just wasn't thought out properly. When you've stacked down in there like that, they gave you tons of space. You could have got in to big door pretty easily. Then you would just have your pocket dip into lobby and come up behind the people that are up top, assuming that they were or are up top. My guess is that they were up top, rather. So, you have your combo come up behind them, the rest of your people just pretend to mess around down there to keep them in place or pop their Uber, whichever happens first. And then you just snake in behind him and kill him. You'd also have gotten probably an easy frag in lobby because there was somebody standing in the big door. You just needed to commit to a side. You also shuffled your team and split yourselves in half between choke and big door, and you're not going to have success that way. You're making those fights too equal. You're setting up 2v2s on those doors mostly, and I don't think you had a really good handle on where the sticky trap was. You want to try and give yourself local numbers advantage so that you can burst damage somebody down and give yourself a favorable Uber engagement. Your flank is also underbuffed. In this, they need to be getting their buffs more actively. So again, you're trying a stacked push, but there are too few people to make it actually work. Okay, we're going to try the stack push again, and it looks like you're going to try and do it correctly. So, your pocket needs to dip into lobby. You open the door. You have your scouts dipping in the lobby. That's kind of backwards. So you get forced here. Uber's not very good. But, okay, now hopefully there'll be someone here. No, there is not. And push in, push in, push in. Push in. No, it's too slow. Your scouts were far too slow there to make that as good as it should have been. You shouldn't have lost those other players. It's still going to turn out, but as soon as you were at that choke door getting ready to leave, there should have been a lot of people meeting you there. You should aim to finish every Uber running into teammates who are going in for the attack. So you guys are disoriented and slow there, and again, like I said earlier in the video, it's either a combo problem that you're not talking about things properly, or it's a team problem where people just don't know how to play TF2. So either or, the demo review shall help. As soon as your Uber ends, you should know which door you're leaving out of ahead of time, and you should know that you're meeting one or two players. You push in with your Uber advantage, your demo goes lower, and now you're stuck a little bit. Yeah, so this just comes to nothing. You do trade, and now they're going to have Uber. No, no, no. This is not the best decision ever made. But oh, yeah, it was you didn't have to commit there, and you shouldn't have committed there. You had to have known, or should have known, that they were very, very close to Uber, and that therefore you can't commit to these fights. You tried for back cap there, not a bad choice, considering how capped it is. Ideally, what you'll do here is, because of how capped the point is, you would just gather. They're not going to be able to really push second, and you apparently don't know where your team is, so this is a major problem. Because you're all alive. So, like, where was team? Because of how capped the point was there, you could have just rushed in and tried to get it that way. Now you're kind of boned. Now, they may push you with this Uber. If they get 2 or 3 kills, they have done this correctly. Might be able to use that as an example. You get 2 kills, so they're dropping their whole team. You force their Uber. Perfect. So, they should have pushed. They did not. Oh dear. Looks like you'll get it. Yep. So that is... No! Wow. Half-timed. Alright, new half, new life. Should be 3-1 really, but it's 2-1 instead, so still quite a close game. Oh, Collide, don't take fall damage. Please, please, Collide. Yeah, your roamer's going to mid with not enough health. You get a nice early frag. You get a bunch of nice early frags, so well done. This should be an easy mid win. Your scout should be on the point already. You should be pushing last. Oh, sad days. Push last. Nope. Too slow.
Alert. The control point is being captured. Time has been added.
Remember the simple rule here. As long as you don't pop their... As long as they pop their Uber here trying to take second, and you don't pop your Uber, you win. You win last.
Alert. Our control
Pop their Uber. Please pop their Uber. Do whatever it takes to pop their Uber. Oh dear.
time has been added.
Uber into them. You have to Uber into them here.
Captured.
You have to stop the point with your Uber here. There's no reason to keep running away. You have a spawn advantage to mid. Okay, good enough. Pop their Uber. Okay. Now you should be meeting your players. They're coming through choke, apparently. Do not let them cap this point. You have to keep pushing. You have to keep pushing. Yeah. And now you're all dead. So you shouldn't have let them even come in. You could have played back off the choke a little bit, or just Ubered into them when they got close there, so as to buy your spawners time. You shouldn't even have let them get on the point. You should have Ubered onto them right away. You have a spawn advantage when you're fighting on mid, and you control mid, so you should have used that to your advantage. See, a nice early pop. You have Uber. Stop this point. No, okay. You could have popped your Uber right away there. You didn't need to hold it for so long. Danger. Okay. So that's good. Just push out. You'll be fine. I don't know where their demo is, but it should be okay. They didn't get very many forward spawns at all, so you should get mid pretty easily. I much prefer pushing big door in these sorts of situations. I'll go over why. A, there are a lot of hiding spots here going through choke. There are also a lot of sticky spots going through choke here. And there's the drop down as well as far as hiding spots. So it's just, and it's tighter door, so it's easier for a smaller number of people to keep you out. Whereas big door, you can see all of mid before you go up there, so it's a lot easier for everything to get going. And then because of the status of your Uber advantage, you could just walk under the point you as medic and just continue pushing through big door with your team as the scout caps. It gives you a lot of options. You're a little laggy there. Oh, see, hiding spots. So that never should have happened. You also, stacking this isn't that bad. It denies them forward spawn, but your team needs to dive them while people are dead. Somebody should come back for you as well. So one person should have come back for you, and the rest of your team should have pushed. You get their medic, don't let them take this point. You have their medic, don't let them take. Okay, perfect. Stay together. I don't know what your demo's doing down there. You have to stay together. Yep. As soon as you spread out, that was the end of you. You, as med, I don't know how your comms are at that particular moment. You have to make a conscious effort to keep everyone together, because they have to kill you. That's it. If they're a good team, the only thing happening in their mumble as soon as Owl died was someone saying we have to get their medic. So as long as everybody groups up around you, you should be okay. Nobody can extend out of the little protect Rchl bubble. So now you're going to lose second. You have not charged at all this whole time, so what should have been a big advantage is a small, tiny advantage. You should have been able to push off of last with this advantage. You need to get your team to start coming and getting you more. You're done building. Buff up the players. No, stop building. Stop, stop, stop. So Uber advantage isn't big enough to push off of. You're at their mercy. So we're just apparently playing the waiting game. Sun comes back as scout. Oh, they trade. So there's a spy en route. So we'll see if your Highlander experience plays into your not getting stabbed again. Should be in somewhere now. Use your roamer. That's a tragedy. They should be pushing. Here comes Mr. LaSpy. He goes down. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't push off of your roamer going down. That was their window, and you handed it to them on a silver platter. Then all they would have had to do was have the spy like backgap the point or something, and you all would have flipped out, and they would have won the round. So use your roamer again. Now this time they do rightly push. It took a little too long to pop there. Yeah. You don't be on lasts if their combo is in. Don't be afraid to pop your Uber. Just go ahead and do it, because you can't afford to drop players there. Your demo was a little too close to you. He should have made greater... Alright, there we go. He should have made greater efforts to get away from you, your demo, so that you could just have a pocket Uber, at least for a little bit. But in that case, with 3 people in the area there, you, the demo, the pocket, you can't wait so long to pop, or you're gonna drop somebody. And you were hurt. You eat that last rocket. You waited too long, because after your Uber's over, you're hurt. Your demo's dead. It's a disaster. So don't be afraid to pop earlier, especially in that case, because if you'd have been able to pop on GBB, your pocket, really early, then you could have blocked a lot of those people from getting in the shutter door, and Zan, the demo, would have been able to survive. Or at least been more likely to survive. So we have a tie game. Another mid. You guys have done really well at mid so far. It's another good mid. Healing the soldier's a little questionable. You get 2 kills, so you're just ducky. Oh, the rollers. The scout goes off by himself and dies, so you lose mid. So ideally there, you guys would have just stuck together and presented a more unified front to them, because you had a player advantage there for just a little bit, and you sold it by when Hugh dropped off. You don't want to go on the floor ever. The floor on Gullywash Middle is made of lava, and the only thing that happens when you go down to the floor is bad things happen to you.
The control point is being captured.
This is another situation where you guys held your Uber for way too long. You should have just gone down and Ubered on them to stop them, since it was clear that you weren't going to be able to pop them. Having an Uber v Uber crap fest on the point there is much more preferable to losing 2 people and then having to fall back to last. Or rather, is much preferable to being on your last. So that's 2 situations in a row now where you guys were just too stingy with your Uber. Also, because you had Uber, you didn't need to be playing that passively to begin with. Oof. Never should have happened that way. So you didn't have any coverage on the launch pad. You didn't have any aerial denial near you in the form of a heavy or a scout. And that just can't be allowed to happen, or you're gonna get popped. You can countersack 2 players, or at least 1, because you need to get this Uber out of them. You can't cap the point. No, no, no. They feed you. They have a terrible Uber. Run. Nope, not possible. You could have pushed out there to pop their Uber, but it should have only been 1 or 2 buffed players, and that's that. They fell out, so that gave you the opportunity to do it. You don't really want to pop them if they're in lobby in that situation. You also needed a heavier defense at last. You really needed a heavy or pyro or something to soak damage after the inevitable repush came from them. You didn't have any of that. So now it is 3-2, I believe. They give the first pick, so you should win. Look at that. The rule holds true. One should cap, the rest should go. Definitely. Everybody go to last. It's spawn camping time. Heal these people. Spawn camping time. No, 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 no. Don't you cap this point. Don't you... Oh, guys. Guys. Go spawn camp. Oh, dear. Well, now they have Uber. So, yeah, you flubbed the jump, but the only reason you were put in a position to flub the jump is because your team did not behave properly. You should have just pushed right to last with the scout, the demo, and the soldier. There's no reason not to. Now they're set up. They have a heavy at last. He's buffed. They have all this horrible crap for you to do now. You've got to have a sniper. They Uber out on you, run away, or go in. This is fine too. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Good. You saw the opening. You're going to use it. Cap the point. Keep people off of that scout. Perfect. So again, they broke the rule. They popped their Uber, but they didn't get 2 to 3 kills, so they lose the round. Yes. Your two options were to back up or go forward. You did a really good job of seeing that lane, whoever made that call, and going into last with their combo floating out and around. So that was good. That was good. And you did well with having your scout just get on the point. Oh dear. Accidental key bindings were hit. Demo isn't really super important for gullywash anyhow. Another good little pocket set up here, so they're not pressuring you well. The first death, so you're still in a fine spot, really. They do cap the point, so that's bad. So the rule doesn't hold that time. You do take the nice little short route out, so that's good. Ideally, he would have sticky jumped to get closer to you there, so that you could build just in case. Dear Hugh, it is far too late for you to go NG. Unless they're really, really slow about this. And maybe they will be. But ideally they should just be throwing their suicide or whatever it is at you. And you drop. You have to have coverage on Riverside and the launch pad right there. That all has to be covered, or you're gonna get jumped and you're gonna drop or pop. You just cannot allow that stuff to be uncovered. And you have to have a scout that's ready to contest any jumper of you much more quickly or heavy. Either of those will do. You have not succeeded in popping their Uber, so you need to get a fat man on this last ASAP and hunker down. Okay, you have a pyro, that's fine. You lose your roamer again, so that's not good. They're just gonna push. Rotate. Oh, that would have been a clutch Uber saw, but So it's 4-3 now, I think. Nice pipe dodging for the most part. You give the first death, so you're done. You need to try to get out. Try and get out. No, you way. I hope you saw this in the demo, but you way overcommitted. Not only did you personally way overcommit, but you also aren't going to get their medic, so you guys lose the round. You should, by all rights, lose the round. And you do. So, overcommitting there on that mid cost you guys this match.
Control point is being contested.
If both teams go to the right, the first death wins. You just have to assume that. So you should have started playing more passively. And then once you lost those two players there in the following engagement, it was over. It's too late for an NG. You need a heavy.
Our control point.
Yep, and that will be the match. So that was kind of a heartbreaker. You guys did some stuff really well. Some pretty advanced stuff, and then other times you just completely blew it. There were two situations where you should have used three, even, I think, that you should have used your Uber much sooner. And as a result, you dropped players, you gave up points, and that can't happen if you want to win matches. So that's I don't know who to really blame for that. If it's the pocket calling for you to back up, if it's UBB, or if it's you playing scared, but that cannot happen. Or trying to play really ballsy by holding the Uber forever. You don't. There's a time for that, and the time for that is when you're pushing and there's one person trying to spam you out. Like that's the time where you milk it really hard. Or if they've already popped their Uber and it's taking one Ubered person forever to pop you, then milk it. If it's not any of those situations, then you should just use your Uber. Your mids looked okay. You personally did fine on all the mids except that last one. That was the only one that you really made a tremendous mistake on. But all the rest of the time it looked pretty good for you personally. And then that's about all to cover. There were some other mistakes, but I cover them at the time well enough. So I know it's not as good as sitting down and actually talking about the demo, but I have to be well medicated to be coherent. So, and I doubt I'm all that coherent. So, hopefully, it provides a little insight on what's going wrong, because I know you guys expect to be doing a lot better than you are.